So what I have here is I have a casting tray. So when we make the electrophoresis gels, we have this casting tray. It comes with these rubber bumpers, and the rubber bumpers actually help us to hold the gel in place. And we also have these combs. These combs, they're going to actually make the wells. This side has actually 10 of the wells that we're going to be using. This is going to make. This one would be if we would make 8 wells, but today we're going to be using the side with the 10 wells. So we have the casting tray here, and now here what I have is I actually have my agarose. This is 0.8% agarose. This is the percentage we're going to be using to do the color electrophoresis. So you gently pour it inside the casting tray. The temperature of the agarose is around 55 degrees Celsius. You don't make too hot so we don't melt our casting tray. So we fill it up until it goes close to the top of the bumpers. Then here we have our comb and we place it. So I place it at the top. Okay, there's measurements inside so I know which way is the top. And here into the middle. Now that it's set, let's not touch it anymore. So we can see here that the agarose is up all the way up to close to the side of the dam. Alright, so now we can actually see that the gel is set. It is more opaque and it doesn't jiggle anymore. And now it's time to take out the combs. Now the combs, you have to be very careful. We don't want to take them out at an angle, because if we take them out in an angle then we actually dig inside the wells. We don't want to, so we're just going to pull gently up. The same thing with the other one. Gently pull up. So we can see here we have our 2 rows of wells. We have to remove the bumpers, okay, so the dams. So it's very important that we gently have to make sure that they don't break. You can pull. If you see that it attaches a bit too much, what we can do is actually use a plastic policeman. With a plastic policeman, I slide it right between the dam and the gel. So that it releases it without breaking the gel. This way when we remove the dam, doesn't pull on the gel, and the gel does not break. Same thing on the other side. And here we go. Here we have our 7x10 gel ready to be loaded. We have to place our electrophoresis gel and its tray inside our electrophoresis chamber. So this is our chamber. In the chamber here there's a notch right there, and this notch matches the notch right here, which is on the casting tray. Gently place the tray inside the electrophoresis chamber as such. Okay, so we can actually see it's inside. Oh, very nice, like this. And now we have to put our electrophoresis buffer in it. Electrophoresis buffer has to cover the gel First we're going to fill up one side. Move on to the other, fill out the other side. Now I put buffer until it covers half a centimeter for all of it. Let's try to see this through a different angle. So here we can actually see that the gel is on the bottom, and we have a couple of millimeters of electrophoresis that covers the top of the gel. Good, good. Okay, so now we're ready to load. So let's check it out. First, we can see here, we can see all the little holes, all these wells. So these are all the wells we're going to be loading. We're going to be loading 20 microliters. All the other set of wells are there too. First thing before I actually start loading is that you make yourself a diagram that says exactly what you are going to be loading. I made myself a little piece of paper with all the representations of the wells. And then it's going to tell me where to put all the things. So I keep this close at hand so I know what I'm going to be adding to my wells. Okay? Good. Okay, so the first thing is I have my pipette. Here I have my pipette. It's a variable volume pipetter. And I have it set at 20 microliters. So when I'll be pipetting 20 microliters on my pipette. I use my pipette tip, and now I'm going to be taking my first sample, 20 microliters. Before loading, we're going to wipe the tip, so usually I use a piece of paper, so Kimtech paper like this, just to wipe the tip. Okay, just gently wipe the tip, just to make sure that there's nothing on the outside that can actually go inside the well. Now, first thing is very important. Is when you're loading, be very careful, and you're adding inside the well. The well is very small. Make sure you aim, and then you add 20 microliters. It's added. You lift, and then continue to the other one. What's very important when you're actually doing this for all the time is that for the pipettes, we're not actually going to go and do the last delivery. So when I'm adding, I'm pressing on the pipette, sure it's inside the well, and I don't do the second pump. I just lift it before, because we don't want to suck back out. So there's always going to be a tiny little amount left over here, but it's better that than pushing extra air inside the wells, because if you push extra air inside the wells, well, you're actually pushing out the color. We don't want to do that. Let's continue. The other samples. Wipe the outside. Look at the well. If a little bit gets outside the well like that one, it's not too bad. It's actually not going to contaminate anything because it's on the outside and it's just going to dissolve inside the electrophoresis buffer. But of course it's not the best thing either. So I gotta be careful not to have too much contamination. Here, that one. I missed the well at the beginning, but got it back after. The last well, I'm keeping it open. Again, if I make a mistake, like I'll see at the end, maybe I'll redo that last red because I lost some of that sample in there. So I've done them all. Now I'm just going to redo that red that I kind of missed, just to make sure it's good. Remind myself also to write that down. There we go. No loss for that one. And we'll do the other red because it is kind of like hazy a bit. I don't like the color of it when I'm at it. So I'll try it again. That's the good part of having extra wells. Alright, there we go. Everything's loaded. So, gotta put the cover on. Put the cover on. The cover has the leads on it, and we have the negative and the positive on each side. Gonna put the cover and plug it in. Okay, so now the cover's on it. It's been plugged in. Everything's good with the red, the black with the black. And now we're going to turn it on. 150 volts. And to see that it's actually working, we look at the bottom and we should start seeing some bubbles at the bottom where the electricity, the current's actually passing through. So let me see if we can't see the bubbles at a different angle. Okay, so now we're going to let that run for, let's go, a good 15 minutes. So we can actually start seeing it moving. That's good. So it's actually been 15 minutes, and now I can actually see that all of the colors have actually migrated down to the positive pole. So what we're going to do is that, so we can actually see the colors a lot better, and take a nicer picture, we're actually going to move this onto a light box. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gel out of the electrophoresis chamber. Bring it on top of here and just slide the gel over my light box. And this way you can actually see our results really well. Some of the results are a bit lighter, but that's as expected. So this is what it looks like. Very nice. So up close we can see it better. So we have now all of our colors right here, so we can actually see a few of the colors over here. So what's going to be important is you take a picture, and when we're going to be taking the picture after, we're going to be taking measurements from the bottom of our well, the initial well, all the way to the bottom of our first band or second band if you have 2 bands, and doing the ratio for all of these, and then trying to compare and find out which one is, what color is actually in each one of these candies with the references that we have here. Excellent.